Hi, how's everyone doing? Jamie McDonald, marketing coordinator at EverLast Lighting, sitting down today with Justin Cook, our Western Region sales manager, to talk about one of our newest products, one that we're extremely excited about because it gets us into a whole new market space, and that is the NSF15 LED high bay. How are you doing today, Justin?
I'm doing great, Jamie. Thanks for having me today. I'm excited to discuss this new NSF fixture, something that we've been really trying to figure out for a few years now, and I think we've gotten the solution for our customers and our reps and our distributors.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's a new product for us, and again, like I kind of mentioned at the intro, that it gets us into a whole new market,
Yep.
as it were. And so, for those maybe new to lighting, NSF is basically like a food safe product, and I'll let Justin tell everybody a little bit more about that. So let's just start off with just kind of a general discussion about what this product is targeted for or designed specifically for, and we can just kind of build off of that, because I'm familiar with our traditional, our high bay line. I know I see it in steel processing plants and manufacturing plants, and it even shows up in warehouses and things like that. And this might look similar to some people, but it is a very different type of fixture. So maybe elaborate on what exactly this fixture is going to do for us and for the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's unique compared to other high bay fixtures from several facets, and a lot of that is dealing with the ETL and at that point the IP rating. So you're looking with an IP69K rating, which means specifically it can be steamed wash, power wash down, dust rated as well too. But it's unique from our high bay fixtures because of the sleek design of it too. And that allows it to not collect the debris, the dust, the different things that you might have that might happen with our HL17B. Even those fixtures have fins and dust can get through them. It's just a sleeker fixture that allows for a wash down safety within a food service area. And that's particularly what it's used for. I know you asked where does this kind of fit in a niche area? And I would say in particular, it fits into the niche area of food processing.
Sure. Yeah. So you mentioned the, excuse me here, the sleek design of this, and it helps facilitate the wash down aspect of it, and the not buildup of debris and things like that, which of course is critical for food manufacturing, because let's face it, no one wants debris falling off of lights into something that gets packaged up for consumption at this point, right? So, so we know what this light does. We know who it's made for. And I know that we talked about, food processing, things like that. Do you see that this light could be used in any other food sectors, kitchens, things like that? Is that a possibility, do you think?
Absolutely. I think this fixture could be used in even areas outside of a food sector. I think in a kitchen you could use it, of course. I think in food processing, but I also think you could use these in an auditorium setting, so a pool setting, which is something in particular with that IP rating. You see with a natatorium setting that. In a lot of cases, they look for fixtures that are quote unquote natatorium rated, which isn't actually a certification or a rating. But what this fixture allows us to be able to do is go into those areas and say, this is IP69K rated. This fixture is going to be extremely durable in these areas. You're looking at helps out with the corrosion aspect of it. You splash water on it, you're not going to have the issues. It's an extremely durable fixture in that sense. So I would say, even removing it from the food processing areas, the food service areas, which it's absolutely, that's what it's made for, as its primary use. Its secondary use can fit into a lot of areas, such as that natatorium space.
That's one of those things that I think we at EverLast Lighting excel at, is thinking outside of the box. It shows through in how we can custom fabricate and manufacture things specifically for a customer. Absolutely. But again, in taking a product, its intended use traditionally, like you said, is going to be food processing and food preparation. But the natatorium aspect of it, that's really intriguing, because that IP69K rating is pressure rated. So you'd have to you'd pretty much have to submerge that thing underwater in order for it to become compromised. So that's a brilliant way of looking at that, Justin, to think outside of the box with this product. So as far as lighting goes, everyone knows that we're high bay masters. I mean, it's just kind of what we do. We're so good at this.
Yep.
And one of the things that we tout is our being systems agnostic, you know, that we can integrate into any kind of control system pretty much anywhere. What about this fixture, the NSF15? Is that a possibility for someone looking at this light?
Yeah, I would say, of course, it's a possibility, and a lot of that does deal specifically with its 1 to 10 volt dimming options. The concern that you run into, of course, is that it's an NSF fixture, so it's the sleek design that allows it to remain that NSF type fixture. But with any type of control system, you might need to put a junction box onto that to actually take a control node off of it, which could affect that NSF rating. As you indicated, in terms of configurability, that's one of the things that we're able to do. We're able to take a fixture and kind of make it what the customer needs at that point. And we're able to do that by working with our fabricators, our in-house fabricators, when it comes to junction boxes. So there's always options in terms of taking what that controls agnostic aspect of it, which is that 1 to 10 volt dimming, and trying to make it as close with adding a junction box on as that base module is to an NSF.
So for an end user who is looking at a control system for this light, it might be something where the controls module is kind of remote. It might not necessarily be attached to the fixture in order to maintain that sleek design, which again grants it that that NSF, you know, capabilities and rating.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. You can always mount a controls module, controls node from a remote standpoint. It kind of depends on the control system that you're using within that. So I would say one of the things that we always indicate with controls is we like to get those nodes in-house, test them with those certain fixtures, and especially with this particular fixture, we can say with our HL17B, our high watt, high lumen fixture, those fixtures I'd had opportunities to test those with control systems, control nodes. In particular with the NSF, we always like to, it's better to be safe than sorry. So what we would do in those instances is get those control nodes in-house, determine capabilities with our NSF fixture, and find a solution for the customer.
Very good. So in your opinion, I know traditionally we see in a lot of food manufacturing facilities the use of a linear high bay. Do you think this would be a good substitute for a linear high bay in your opinion?
Absolutely, I do. I think you see in a lot of the food processing areas, you might see a linear high bay, and where that becomes interesting compared to where ours is at, is you look at a linear high bay, and in times it's a flat linear high bay. So you can have debris, you could have grime collect on top of that linear high bay. With this particular fixture, you don't have that. It's a sleek fixture. You don't get the buildup. You can spray it down. It's splash zone rated, on top of the IP69K rated. So it's easy to clean. And I think it's a unique fixture compared to, say, a linear fixture where there's a concern of how do you clean this fixture and the maintenance cost with it. You know, the maintenance cost of this, you're not going to have the collection to where you're going to have to clean this constantly in comparison to, say, a linear fixture.
That's a very good point. Very good point. I know that becomes really critical. Again, we're talking about food processing, which is a manufacturing process. And let's face it, time is money. And the minute you start shutting down any sort of a production line, you're starting to eat into profits. So if we can start eliminating some of those production downtimes by not having to get up there and clean these long linear surfaces, then it's more money back in the pocket. I think it helps attribute, or, you know, it speeds up the ROI, I guess, basically for the customer.
Absolutely, and I would say that's our biggest thing at EverLast is how do we get that ROI with the customer? You know, what do we do to make sure, and with all of our fixtures, including the NSF, it's making sure that it's not just the front end, but it's the back end. It goes back to, particularly with this fixture, even if it is an NSF fixture, still 10-year warranty on this fixture, which is something that, again, we pride ourselves on with almost all of our fixtures, making sure that we're backing that up on the back end. And that includes ROI, that includes a warranty that's really second to none within the industry.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that was going to be one of those things that I brought up here momentarily was, does
Perfect.
this qualify for the 10-year warranty? And yes, it does. Again, very critical for ROI for the customer.
Yep.
And it goes to show you the reliability of the product. If we're willing to stand behind it for 10 years, your maintenance costs are going to be extremely low because it's going to live for the 10 years and beyond. So it's always a good thing. It feels good to tell people, don't worry, this is backed by a 10-year warranty and you can count on it for years to come.
And again, it goes back to we don't put a product to market. We don't send a product to market without truly believing in what it is. And although that 10-year warranty is there, we know that our product lasts. We know that our product works. So in particular, that 10-year warranty is just a fail-safe on that end.
For sure.
So it's something that it allows our customers to have that peace of mind while at the same time getting a really high quality product.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I know I hear you, people in the sales department often telling people who have questions about the warranty. We've been in business long enough to outlive our warranty twofold.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
which is not something that you hear from a lot of manufacturers. So
Absolutely.
that's a positive. Can I back up a second though? I know we talked a moment about linears and,
Yep.
their shape is different. And I know as a layman, my thought might be, oh, okay, I've got a linear fixture, which is, linear, long and narrow.
Mhm.
And I see this round circular fixture. Is the light dispersion going to be something that would be comparable so that I do have a wide coverage? Is there a wide beam angle on this, or is this kind of a narrower focused product?
Yeah, absolutely. So in particular with this, you are going to be looking at a beam spread, about 120-degree beam spread that's
Nice.
coming out of this. So it's not going to be something where, of course, with a linear fixture, you have something that's 4 feet long. The light's going to be come down at that point.
Sure.
But with this, you're still going to have the beam spread. It's the same thing that we look at with all of our round high bay fixtures, that
Yes.
120-degree beam spread that allows that light to be able to spread out fairly similar to, say, a linear fixture in those instances, but you still get the durability. And quite honestly, where our round high base, including this, outside of the fact of the IP69K rating or the splash zone rating, allows us to be able to distinguish, is also the lumen per watt.
Yes.
And I think that's something too, where anytime you see something, you see the NSF15, when we have a number at the end of any of our part numbers, any of our nomenclatures, you're going to see 15. That's 150 lumens per watt. That's pretty significant for those food service areas, and allows you to be able to really allow, with, again, going back to that ROI as well, where you might be able to cut down on wattage. To make sure that it's that you're getting a quality product on the back end.
Excellent. It's always good to hear. It's one of those things, again, it's a perception thing. As someone who came into the lighting industry from far outside of it, my initial impressions looking at a round fixture were that the beam would be so focused that I would need more lights. Not necessarily the case with this, thanks to that wide beam angle.
Correct.
So, Justin, I guess we've probably pretty much covered most of the content, unless you've got something up your sleeve that I didn't have on the agenda to talk about today. And if not, could you give somebody or the viewers of this a way to get in contact with you if they've got questions about the NSF15 that we may not have touched on today?
Absolutely. So in terms of reaching out to us, you can always feel free to reach out to myself, Cody Hadley, or Brian Schultz. Each of us have our contact information on the website. I particularly, you can feel free to reach out to me. My email address is the letter J, and then it's Cook, that's COOK, at everlastlight.com. And even if you have questions and you can't seem to find us on the website, feel free to fill out a form, and we will get in touch with you. Those forms come straight to us. We make sure to get you in contact with the correct people, and that you're able to get your project and your needs fulfilled.
Excellent. And if you're unsure of who to contact specifically and you want to look for something specifically in your region, there is a section on the website. If you go to the top menu, you can check out our rep locator map, and we can put you in touch with a lighting agency in your area who is specifically working with us to deliver our products to you.
Absolutely. Give somebody in your area, you know, we're right in Jackson, Michigan. And sometimes, you know, you have the guy in Florida or you have the girl that's in California. It makes it a little bit easier for them to work with somebody in their area. So we do work with lighting manufacturers reps. We have the best in the industry. And it's, we will help you work with them to make sure that your project gets completed.
That's right. Hey, Justin, I appreciate you taking time out of the schedule today. I know working from home makes things hectic quite often. Yes, very unique for sure.
Yep.
So with that, I guess we can wrap up this webinar on the NSF15. And again, if you've got any more questions, feel free to reach out to the sales team at EverLast Lighting. And you can visit the product page on the website. It's everlastlight.com. And just search for the NSF15 on there. And we have available all sorts of documentation on that fixture there as well. So thank you everyone for watching, and Justin, you have a great day.
You as well, Jamie. Thank you.